Welcome to this ICF Slalom podcast episode, part of the series running until the Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We bring you the inside stories from around the globe from the people who make canoe slalom so special. Here's your host, John Gregory.
A warm welcome to our 8th and final episode of this special daily series. Thanks for joining me this week. We endeavoured to bring you a short daily episode as we guided you on what to expect the next day at the ICF 2026 Canoe Slalom and Kayak Cross World Championships, and with a recap on the last day's racing in Oklahoma City, USA. For this wrap-up episode, I'm joined again by my co-host Rebecca Giddens, together with Mike Knoppe, Eric Giddens, Ken Hoeve, Meritxell Rodriguez, and world champion Miquel Travé from Spain. We recap the Kayak Cross head-to-head and the overall World Championships. I start today hearing from our new C1 Men World Champion, Miquel Travé.
So yes, no, it's like a dream. I'm really happy about the World Championships. It was incredible. I could get the gold, the first World Championships medal I can get, and that is gold. It's crazy. And I also that in K1 I could be 6, I could be in the final and close to the medals. It was also really good. So really, I'm really satisfied, and I think I still don't believe what just happened. So I think I will need some few days to believe and to understand what's going on. But well, I need to celebrate, but also keep focused for the rest of the season and try to make it the best to get the spot for the Olympics. So yes, I'm happy, but I know I will not lose the focus on the main goal.
That was Miquel Travé, winner of the C1 Men World Championship title at the Oklahoma City Worlds. He represented Spain at the Olympics in Paris. He spoke to us from Oklahoma City, USA. And here are Rebecca's impressions of what unfolded yesterday in the Kayak Cross head-to-head rounds and finals.
Joe Clark not making it through to those final rounds was definitely a disappointment. He's always fun to watch out there. The moves that he can pull off are incredible. He's just a machine on the water. He has fun tactics to watch. You can see the very calculated movements that he's making. So I was bummed not to see him move forward. And then my connections with the Long family, I really wanted to see Merle Long up there in the final four doing his dance. But he did have a really solid place finish. That was a great run that he had. And just, he seemed proud of that run, smiles on his face. Loved it. That was such an exciting kayak cross finals. It was so fun to watch. So those guys all took off so close together, and then 2 went right and 2 went left. And I was feeling so sorry for all of the guys like on the right-hand side, and then look over and the 2 on the left were doing the exact same thing, just getting all hung up on each other and putting on a really good show for the crowd, and then coming out in a completely different order. I had so much squealing going on watching these finals, really pushing for Marks to win. I wanted to see him up there with the gold with his sister. That would have been amazing. But then turns out equally amazing, just watching Prentice up there from Czech and hearing his story afterwards. Like, he has the whole collection now. He has a gold in all the disciplines. So amazing, cool. Doesn't happen very often in sport. So great race. I kept holding my breath in the women's final cross race. It was so exciting. A lot of bows up in the air and action going on. And then when everybody but Marks went into the left side, I was like, oh my gosh, why did you guys all go in together? And I really thought, I was like thinking that Naomi wasn't going to be able to pull it off. She was just going to get stuck in all the madness. Marks pulled out ahead and she took the gold with flying colors. But I was impressed with how Naomi dealt with that total chaos and was able to pull off that second place. And then we had España in third. Great race from the women, and 2 years in a row for Mark. So congratulations. You show consistency in a sport that looks almost impossible to be consistent in. But that's not true. When you look at those top athletes, same names keep popping up again. Naomi, Marks. So this sport that looks so chaotic and crazy and unpredictable, they know how to do it. They know how to control their boats. They know how to swoop in and just be patient and get those strokes in just at the right time to be able to pull off these gold medal, silver medal, bronze medal runs. So very exciting racing, very exciting cross. And I can't wait to continue to follow this sport. Super sad, regretted my decision of not making it out to the World Championships, although I really couldn't make it there. Had a lot going on. But I got to hang out and watch the World Championships with Scotty Parsons. Scotty Parsons is a longtime U.S. national team member and did multiple Olympics, and he and I grew up as kids, like little kids, together, learning how to race slalom kayaks and then taking it to the national team together, and later on to the Olympics in 2004. We got to go together. So we're still good friends, and he was coming off a big river trip on the Salmon River and came through where we are right now. We're in Miquel at the moment and hanging out and watching the world. So fun day.
That was Rebecca Giddens, world champion in K1 women from the 2002 Worlds in Bourg-Saint-Maurice, bronze medalist from Augsburg 2003, and Olympic silver medalist from the Athens Olympics. She represented the USA at the Olympics in Sydney and Athens. She spoke to us from McCall, Idaho, USA. So a recap of the new world champions, approximately in order of the week's races. Jess Fox from Australia and Joe Clark from Great Britain took the title in the kayak cross individual. In the team races, golds for Australia in K1 women, Slovenia in K1 men, Slovakia in C1 women, and Great Britain in C1 men. Then the classic slalom, Jess Fox and Jakub Krejci from Czechia in kayak, Teresa Neblova from Czechia and Miquel Travé from Spain in canoe. Finally, as noted before, World Championship titles in kayak cross head-to-head for Elena Marks from Switzerland and Vit Prindis from Czechia. Ken Hoeve and Eric Giddens have done a first-class job commentating these World Championships, so I invited them to reflect on the week and share the big story from these Worlds.
This is Eric Giddens with Ken Hoeve, my friend and co-commentator here at the 2026 ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships. We just got off the air with the Kayak Cross Finals broadcast, and it's been quite the journey all weekend.
It's been wild. I've been here for 2 weeks. I got here a week early, which I'm glad I did due to the fact that there was so much to take in. You've got a lot of experience here, but I really enjoyed just seeing the course, but also meeting a lot of the athletes. It's been phenomenal. It's hard to describe how awesome it is to be here and to witness this.
Yeah, and getting a chance to watch the full week of the World Championships, there was so much drama and quality. You think back about the early rounds of the C1s and men's kayaks that were surprisingly, what's the word, I guess, not as good as you would have thought.
There was some shocking, I mean, that qualifying round going in, and you said it when we walked along the course. Eric is obviously a very experienced slalom boater as an Olympian, and I'm just a whitewater boater, and I can look at the river and pick lines, but when I look at them, I think, okay, that's a great place to eddy out, great place to spin. The way they set the course up, the earlier rounds pretty easy, but once they made those changes and kind of making it more whitewatery style, I would compare it to like the North Fork Championship, where they put the gates in the hardest spots. They did it to the slalom boaters. I mean, people flipped over. We saw enders,
pitons,
chaos, double flips, pitons. I mean, to me, I haven't watched a whole lot of slalom, but it's something that I've personally never seen at a slalom event.
Yeah, but then how they were able to regroup and learn so quickly, and the quality of the finals was top notch. I think about Krejci and Kayak. It was so beautiful to watch, and how controlled he looked, and Travé with his direct move in gate 4 in the C1 category, just really, really high quality racing. And then, the team racing, which we don't get a chance to see all the time, I thought that was a blast to watch and commentate. A little harder because it's a little more chaotic, as was the kayak cross when it comes to announcing. I'm so used to calling slalom at the NBC level, but getting to call these other events has been fun. And just doing this with Ken Hoeve, who's He won't tell you this, but he's a real pro.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was an honor to work with you. The team events, I haven't announced an event, I think, in 7 years. I go to a lot of whitewater events. I think that teams discipline would be a really fun one to bring to a lot of river events, because unlike, just racing through gates, even in a small town race, it's just cool. It includes a lot of people. You got to work as a team. So it's fun for the spectators as well. It's easy for them to understand, and you really got to work together.
Yeah, and we kind of finished it off the kayak cross, which I know Ken was super stoked for.
Yes.
And just some of the aggression and violence out there was pretty impressive. But again, when it comes down to the finals, it was just really, really good racing, and so happy for all of these athletes. It's been 12 years since the United States has hosted a World Championships, and to be able to bring it back here to Oklahoma City, which is not a place that we commonly go to either as athletes. It was a really cool scene, and it was just a lot of fun, and just the variety and the quality was kind of what I walk away with.
That was the thing that I tried to share with the viewers throughout the broadcast. We're in Oklahoma City, and I know when I was coming here, my whitewater friends back in Colorado, I told them I was announcing it, and they were like, oh, it's in Oklahoma City. And when you see the dramatic shots of the city skyline off in the back, and you see this magnificent park, and also the fact that it's going to be the host of the LA Olympic Games, LA28. This is the precursor to it. It was a perfect kind of run through, a test run through as to how it'll work. And I think it proved they can make this course insanely challenging. And to anybody that does watch the race online, whether they watched it live or they go back and watch it, if you could stand right next to the river and see where they put the gates and how powerful those hydraulics are in each spot, it would give you a whole new appreciation.
Yeah, so now as we put this 26 World Championships behind us, you're right, Ken, this is going to be a big deal in a couple of years.
Actually, I have a question for you. I mean, we talked about the difficulty a lot on there. I mean, you've gone to, I don't know how many World Championships and Olympic Games. What do you think of the course as far as how it stacked up to the other ones?
Yeah, I thought it was really fair. And again, there were some issues, once we switched to the semifinal and final course, it was a much, much harder course. But again, how quickly the athletes were able to figure it out and master it was so impressive. And I will point out that it sure seemed like the women were a lot more consistent to the men at the end of the day.
And Eric and I would talk in between when we were getting done announcing. We'd walk down to have lunch. We just tried to be purely honest. And I think at times people thought we were, I'll just say it because this is a podcast, taking the piss out of people at times. And that wasn't the case. It was that the men went, and then when the women went, they really cleaned it up. And I think they focused more on being clean than being fast. Because if you got aggressive, especially what was it, gate 4, we were talking about it, they could write a book about just gate 4 here at this event. It's incredible. I have a whole new appreciation for slalom. I was telling Eric that I need to start looking for a slalom boat. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is the video review. Especially at this level of competition where just fractions of a second, and also, you get so close to the gates, I can only imagine historically how hard those moves were to call and to make sure the penalties were accurate.
Yeah, so again, so much drama, so many smiles, and just seeing the friendships on the side of the river. That's what I love seeing, and we got to see that this week in Oklahoma City.
That was commentators Ken Hoeve and Eric Giddens, both accomplished whitewater paddlers. Eric represented the USA at the Olympics in Atlanta. We heard from them as the kayak cross finals concluded, alongside the River Sport OKC course. Czechia topped the overall medal table with 7 medals, including 3 gold, ahead of Australia and Great Britain. In our World's Preview episode, River Sport founder and head of competition Mike Knoppe gave us insights into the preparations that have been made for these World Championships in Oklahoma City and how meaningful it is to the mayor, city, state, and the paddling community. The team should be very proud.
Hello, this is Mike Knoppe, chairman of the 2026 ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships in Oklahoma City and founder of River Sport. Well, I'd like to take just a couple of moments to express my sincere gratitude to our amazing volunteers, River Sport staff, sponsors, and of course the International Canoe Federation for this incredible World Championship here the past week in Oklahoma. I know Oklahomans have really enjoyed welcoming athletes from all over the world and having them experience our unique culture, especially as we're building momentum to the Olympic Games in 2028 in partnership with LA28. For the past 20 years, I've been leading an effort to build the Oklahoma River into a world-class water sports destination for both paddle sports and rowing. And 10 years ago, we opened River Sport Rapids. So it couldn't be more fulfilling to have hosted the world here for this incredible event over the past 7 days, and really having athletes here for several months leading into this. It really makes us even more excited to bring everyone back for the Olympic Games in just 2 short years. And you know, we've been building fans here as a result of this, and can't wait to see everyone back here really soon as they begin their preparations for the Olympic Games. But before that, we are pleased to be handing the baton off to our friends in Spain at La Seu for the 2027 World Championships. We wish them all of the best of luck. We know it's going to be a fantastic event. I look forward to being there, and I look forward to welcoming everyone back to Oklahoma City really soon.
That was Mike Knoppe, River Sport founder and head of competition. He spoke to us before the closing ceremony in Oklahoma City, USA. I am already excited to be heading back to La Seu de Jal in 2027. It is almost serendipitous that the first ever episode was recorded at the 2019 SEO Worlds about Evie Liebfart. I took the opportunity to speak to the head of the organising team for the La Seu 2027 Worlds, Meritxell Rodriguez.
So first of all, congratulations to everyone involved in the Oklahoma City World Championships. Athletes, volunteers, officials, organizers, the whole community have delivered an incredible event. Watching the atmosphere, the energy and the passion here makes us even more excited to welcome the Canoe Slalom family in La Seu in 2027. La Seu is a unique place in our sport. The Olympic venue from Barcelona 92 is still at the heart of our community. What makes La Seu special is not only the whitewater course itself, but also the town and the surrounding Pyrenees. Everything is close. Athletes, teams, officials, and fans all share the same spaces, creating an atmosphere that feels more like a family reunion than a sport event. Preparations are already well underway. We are working closely with the ICF, the Spanish Federation, and the local partners. Our goal is simple: to build on the legacy of the previous World Champs and to make a better venue for the future. We've already invested more than 1 million euros in the pump station, in the building for the accessibility, and for the water management. La Seu will also have a special significance for many athletes and national federations. It will be one of the final major milestones on the road to Los Angeles 2028 Olympic Games. We know how important the journey is, and we are committed to create the very best environment for athletes to perform at their highest level. So, on behalf of the entire team of the organizing committee and the people of La Seu, I would like to warmly invite the whole Canoe Slalom community to join us in 2027. We can't wait to welcome all friends, make new ones, and write the next chapter together in one of the sport's most iconic venues, which is La Seu.
That was Meritxell Rodriguez, manager of the Parc de Segre and organiser of the next World Championships in La Seu, Spain. She represented Spain at the ICF World Championships. She spoke to us from Oklahoma City, USA. Thanks to my co-host today, Rebecca Giddens, plus Mike Knoppe, Eric Giddens, Ken Hoeve, Meritxell Rodriguez, and Miquel Travé. Super grateful to my 2 co-hosts this week, Rebecca Giddens and Scott Shipley. Thanks to my guests, Mike Knoppe, Sam Lever, Joe Jacoby, Danielle Woodward, Eric Giddens, Ken Hoeve, Meritxell Rodriguez, and Miquel Travé. In production, thanks to Andy Maddock, who provided the words at the beginning and end of each episode. Kim Jones and Max Cornu helped create the album artwork. The starting bleeps were recorded at the La Seu Worlds in 2019 and the Kayak Cross Ramp at the Lee Valley Worlds in 2023. In contrast to these short daily episodes, if you want more, I recommend the first episode of this year. It was Series 5, Episode 29, in which I explored the 9 incredible athletes who have won the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships in more than one class. There you will find my conversations with Jana Dukatova from Slovakia, Fabienne Lefebvre from France/USA, David Florence from Great Britain, Franz Anton from Germany, Vavra Hradilek from Czechia, Joe Clark from Great Britain, Jess Fox from Australia, and Claudia Zwalinska from Poland, plus reflections from Bill Endicott. And now Vit Prindes becomes the 10th athlete to win the Worlds in more than one class. My name is John Gregory. Thanks for joining us this week. If you enjoy the podcast, tell other people, send them a link, like, follow, or write a review. Our next regular podcast episodes will bring you results and insights from the European Championships, as well as the World Cup races in Vaires-sur-Marne and La Seu. Stay safe.
That's it for now, but please subscribe to the podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, and leave a review too. Until the next episode, keep it fast and clean.